Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm kind of doing a little bit of a preview. So I've been working on a couple of Bedrock add-ons, and um, what I got here. Oh, those are some. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. Those are some crazy looking glaciers. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Oh, that's incredible. Oh, anyway, right. So I have made a mod here. If I go to, I wonder, can I go to my game and just see, not global resources, can I go to behavior packs, active? Here we go. So we have 3 behavior packs, all of which are made by me. We're going to get into Mana Bedrock in a second, but the one I actually wanted to show off is Skins Plus. So what I've done here is I've made an add-on that adds custom skins to the game. Now, the 4 ones right here aren't quite set up yet. They're still a little broken, but mine and this one are set up so that you can wear it and it'll kind of be like an overlay. But you'll see it's a weird overlay, right? The reason why it's doing this is because of some texture issues, basically. But if I go to the other ones, you'll see like I configure this one. It doesn't even show all the way. Like it's really bugging out. So what I've done is I've made it to where these skins, in order for them to work, you need to wear any skin that does not have an outer layer. Any skin at all. If you're wearing a 3-pixel arm skin, that'll be better for some of these skins because they're 3 pixels only. And it'll bug out looking like 4 pixels if you are. So I always usually recommend wearing an Alex skin that doesn't have an outer layer. Just, the basic base skin. And so you do this, and then you can literally just wear this, and boom. You can now import custom skins. And you'll notice the hand is still the same. But the reason I did this is because I wanted to add a way for non-mobile and non-PC and mobile players on a server to have custom skins. And so you literally, all you need to do is go to the mod configs for this, or the mod files, and replace the image. And it takes a default skin image, and you just replace one of these 4 here. You technically could replace these 2 as well, but I recommend of these 4, and they're already listed. So this is a default parameter, this is the slim parameter, default, and slim. So you get 4 of them with this pack. And it just allows you to, have a skin. You can see the shoulders are a little low, but that's because I'm wearing, an Alex skin. It also does this weird thing when you're in this. It only does it in that, though. I don't know why. That I have not figured out, but I think it's funny. So what I recommend is going through and actually using the default or legacy skins, which you can find, and they should be available. I prefer these 2, but you can really use any of them as long as they don't have an outer layer. Like this has the outer layer. You can't use that. Like I could equip Steve. And you'll notice it fits perfectly with my skin. But if I use this skin, the arms kind of bug out, right? So that's the whole preface, right? You gotta use one that fits the layout. So I can just wear mine instead. And on top of that, armor still works the same. You can still wear it over. You just can't wear a helmet. But as an alternative, because you can't wear a helmet, what I've done is made it to where you can actually enchant them. So if I grab an anvil and grab... they don't actually take durability, so you don't need to apply anything like that. But you could take, like, say, protection, thorns, respiration, I don't know where, Aqua Infinity. I think that's all you would really need for a helmet, right? Perfect. And you can put all that together, and you don't need unbreaking or mending on it, because it it isn't affected by that, and it doesn't glow. So while it doesn't have like a native, like if I go into survival, you'll see it doesn't have like a native protection stat. You can still wear it, and it'll still give you like those protection stats, just not in a physical armor stat. So it's still pretty decent, all things considered. And I thought it was a niche little thing to add for people that wanted, you know, their own custom skin. Of course, your hand is still going to be the base layout, but for everyone around you, they'll see your head and whatnot. Unfortunately, if you ever do use invisibility, you won't be invisible because technically this is like its own custom thing, right? And also, weirdly enough, you can apply it to like armor stands. So boom, there you go. Armor stands can have it. I could summon a husk, and then I could replace item entity at E type equals husk slot slot the armor dot head 0. Oh, husk. There we go. Slot dot armor dot head 0 with skin plus, and then we'll do my skin, and you'll see just like that. Look at that. Because husks don't technically have an outer layer, so it's just me, which is kind of cool. Also, if you do go in like third person, you'll also see, you can see the base skin under it, right? You can still see, I still have the Steve legs and whatnot, so that's all there. It's just a little bit pushed over, as you can see, which is the emphasis of why there can't be an outer layer, because it would show on this template. But all in all, I thought it was a niche way to add this in, and your name tag's still visible, you still appear on the locator bar, and on top of that, the recipes for these are all really simple. They just require sticks, and that's kind of why I didn't want to add an armor value. Like mine, it's just that. Then we also have this one, and then the rest of them are just numbered sticks. So 1, I think it's 2 like that, is it not? I forget how to do it. 2, 3, and then 4. So just like that, all requiring stick recipes just to get all the little helmets here. And I think it's a little adorable, right? So, yep, it's still a work in progress. I'm going to add a couple things. I'm trying to see if I can add the custom hand, but it's probably going to show like you're holding an item like this. So I don't know yet. I'll have to figure something like that out. And once I do, I will release this, and then I'll do a full tutorial on how you can do everything for it. But I thought it's a niche little thing to add, right? Oh, that's hilarious. The armor stand thing, it doesn't go completely invisible. Oh, that's kind of funny. I didn't know it did that. But that does kind of make sense. That the shoulders don't go invisible. I love that. That's awesome. Aside from that, the other sneak peek that I kind of wanted to show is actually a mod I've been working on for a little bit now, which is my Superman mod. And that mod has a lot of things that I'm working on. There's a lot of items. But basically, if you became Superman, which I will do by using, as of right now, I have it set to pottery shards, and you need to find the heart pottery shard. This is subject to change. This is just what I have now. You click it, boom, you become Superman, and you get a little bar. And that bar is directly tied to the sun, actually. So when you are directly above the sun, nothing blocking you, and it is actually daytime, your solar meter will charge. On top of this, your abilities scale with the number of abilities you have unlocked, which there are 5. Right now, I have the models coded for these 3, but technically there's also the silent ability and the tide ability, which we'll get into, but they're kind of laggy, which is why I don't really have them officially set up. But you can do this one, and this one. And with every ability that you unlock, you actually get a higher level of resistance until you get maximum resistance where you're now knockback resistant. But that also ties to your solar meter. So, the best way to show this off would actually just be to start. So, what I'm going to do is charge my also you'll see that all the items are invisible, so other people can't see them, but you can see them, which I thought was a nice little thing. So if I go in survival, the punch is pretty powerful, because it does 28 damage, and it basically breaks everything. It's very strong, but if you right-click it, it'll do that. It doesn't actually like drop items, I don't think. I'll have to double check. I don't actually remember how I encoded this. Oh, that is an issue. Your bubbles kind of are overridden by the solar meter. I don't know if I want to fix that. I might in the future, but as of right now, I'm going to leave it as is. Let me test this. Oh no, it does drop items. I just wanted to double check. But as of right now, I have resistance 3, and I have fire resistance, which comes with my heat ray ability. Basically, because I have 3 of them unlocked, my maximum resistance is resistance 3, which doesn't make me completely resistant. I need 5 to be completely resistant. And on top of that, it scales with the amount of solar you have. So if you have, as you can see, there's like 10 bars of solar that slowly charge. If you have 1 bar, that's resistance 1, all the way to 5, which is resistance 5. And when you have resistance 5 or above, you also are like no knockback. You're basically completely invulnerable. Also, it's kind of finicky right now. I need to update the code to where it's not responsive to like a 1 block layer. Like your feet don't count. It's just your head and above. But I did import flight, which I think is such a cool thing. Basically, it's a custom entity. And it's modeled after the Happy Gast. So you can literally use your arrow keys to move around and just do your thing. You can fly directly up. Crouching does not work. And you just, you kind of just float around. But if you hold this, you suddenly enter super speed, which allows you to fly very fast as long as you're holding this item. And I thought that was a really niche way to do this, to where you can like do your thing, you can place, attack, you basically have creative flight. And in order to disable it, you just right-click it again. And yes, you do take fall damage because I don't have the max resistance. If I did, I wouldn't. Which I could actually enable real quick by doing this. But I'm going to put them away for now. Also, these items are not dropped on death. And they cannot be like removed from your inventory, which is a neat little thing. But with flight, you can basically move around really fast. And if you get high enough in the atmosphere while it's daytime, you'll get these firefly particles, and you'll see you start getting a red bar. This is your overcharge meter. And your overcharge meter allows you to do even more damage with your secondary. So when you place using your punch, and also allows you to do more damage with your laser vision. And also, it's an overcharge. It's nice. It's really cool. It just gives you a little extra layer of safety. And so you can, go down really fast. And I can disable flight. And also because I am now, at level 5 resistance, I could actually disable flight all the way up here. And you'll see no fall damage. And you do a pretty respectable amount of damage, all things considered. Like, it is really strong. You can literally just, It's absurdly strong. And once again, you also have your heat vision, which you can just... which I think looks really cool. And once again, you can pair a lot of this with, like, your flight. It looks a little goofy in flight, but I promise you the visual for third person is good. It does have a fixed block range of 50 blocks, so once you're 50 blocks away, won't work. Heat vision does drain a lot of solar, and it does cut through blocks all the way. So you can see how I'm just cutting through the surface while also melting things. Which is really cool. I could also, if I wanted to, go over here and say I summoned an iron golem for perspective. You can just... That's pretty strong. And then once again, if you really want to charge your solar meter, go up here. Oop, I gotta go a little higher. Remember, when you hold this, you're technically still draining your solar meter faster because you are in high speed mode. So you just got to let go of it. And there we go. Solar meter is charged. Oh, let me disable flight and let me summon an iron golem again. You'll see. You're pretty immobile. And I can punch him for a couple hits. Or I can two-shot him with that. And to really put this into perspective, I could summon a warden. And I actually don't believe heat vision does anything to him because he's resistant to fire. And so yeah, I could sit here punching him for a very long time. Or I could summon another warden. And I can use my right click a bunch. And you'll see it actually cuts down on his health really fast. The punch is really strong. Oh, and another benefit of the heat vision is that... Let me see if I can find some sand here. You turn sand to glass, which I thought was a niche little thing. Also, you do just remove water. So these are the main abilities. Now, I did add Frost Breath, which I don't have anything encoded for really yet. It auto-disables, but the way Frost Breath was supposed to work, but right now it's not all the way there. As you can see, it does freeze things. And also, you can see how it's slowly levitating me. When you do affect anything with frost, you do levitate them. And I thought that was niche. Another thing, which also isn't set to work yet, you can see it's kind of showing. When you did use the X-ray, what it would do is it would project your camera into the ground. But once again, I'm bug fixing these because they caused a lot of lag, and I wasn't happy with how they turned out, which is kind of why this video has been delayed, why this mod pack has been so delayed for releasing, is because I've been bug testing. There's still quite a few bugs I'm trying to fix, but I wanted to show you what I have so far as the Superman abilities, as far as punching goes, just block breaking, your heat vision, and flight, which honestly the flight is my favorite part because you really do just have almost Superman level flight. I mean, this is just ridiculous. And then you could just, go into passive flight. Like it's just so handy. Now, outside of his abilities, there is now kryptonite in the game. And if you ever have kryptonite, right now it just shows a red module, but I will change this later. It gives you that green bar, which basically disables your abilities whenever you have kryptonite on you. In any fashion or capacity. And it comes in a cluster form. And so what I've done here is I've actually, hold on, let me affect myself with conduit power for an infinite amount of time, 0 true. Let's see if we have any luck finding a meteor. Because the only way, as of right now, I do plan on adding creatures that have a natural kryptonite affinity just to add kryptonite and make it more abundant. But as of right now, the only way to find it is by looking in the ocean and looking for a meteor. And it is kind of rare. Oh, that looks awesome. I might just swim past one or fly past one because they're hard to spot. But it is a new structure that I added. I do have plans to add Superman's fortress, and if you find his fortress, that's how you would get his abilities, because there can be multiple super beings in one world. I actually encoded a bunch of things, like the frost breath cancels out the heat vision, whereas the heat vision reduces your solar meter really quick, and so combat is possible. Oh, there one is. Oh my goodness. They're kind of rare, but we actually found one. They're kind of easier to spot out here, I guess. But this is a meteorite. It's a new block, basically based off the mud texture, but you go in here, and there's a chance that you'll find kryptonite ore in it. Is it guaranteed? No, but there is a chance. Yep, you basically just have to go through the oceans and look. But if you do find kryptonite ore, when you break it, it has a chance of dropping 3 to 5 kryptonite upon breaking. It does require netherite to break it. And so you'll get kryptonite from it. And this does work. This is encoded. It just takes a minute. And unfortunately, enchantments don't work on the pickaxe for it. So even if I do go in survival, breaking this actually takes forever. Unfortunately, it takes so long. Any day now. Any day. Any day. Okay. All right, then. Okay, then. Oh, I got 4. Nice. Oh, I got 5. Oh, nice. Okay. So perfect. So that is how you get kryptonite. And it's handy against any super being because being exposed to kryptonite, either in its physical form, like place form, or the item form, will be damaging. Or holding it is also damaging. But there's a couple things you can do with it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to grab a crafting table real quick and a stone cutter. Wherever the stone cutter is. Where is the... There, thank you. There we go. So, you take a stone cutter, you throw kryptonite in there, you can actually get kryptonite shards. You take a kryptonite shard, throw it in there, you get kryptonite powder. These are the 3 items you'll be using for crafting recipes. So, let's say you want to make a kryptonite block. Well, one thing you're going to need for a kryptonite block is, lodestone, I believe. I'm trying to remember my own recipe for this. I believe it's lodestone and meteorite brick. Oh, apparently not. Is it this? It is this. Okay. So meteorite brick, 4 kryptonite clusters, and a lodestone. And that gives you 1 kryptonite block, which I think has a really nice texture. These do glow, by the way. And once again, it's the same amount of exposure as like keeping a kryptonite ore on the ground. So it's, it is handy. The only downfall about it is that it costs so much kryptonite and it costs meteorite brick. But a thing that is going to become readily possible is like kryptonite ore you can silk touch and you can get this, right? But kryptonite clusters you can actually start getting from mobs just passively. And so you'll only get so much kryptonite ore. And so as an alternative, that's why I added in the ability to make the kryptonite blocks, because they look good and also because they're very tough, like extremely tough. And meteorites don't actually do anything to Superman. So you're going to need meteorite brick, which requires a blast furnace and meteorite. Smelt that down and boom, you get a meteorite brick. And this allows you to convert meteorite brick into a block, basically, into more kryptonite blocks. So basically, if you have a bunch of kryptonite clusters lying around and you go find a meteorite, you now have a reason to go searching for these because now you can make even more blocks along with finding the kryptonite ore, which I thought was a nice little thing. So you don't have to make these, but you can. Additionally, I added a block called kryptonite glass. And that requires tinted glass. And I think it's just kryptonite blocks. I think it is just that, is it not? Is it like this? It's like that. Okay, gotcha. Kryptonite glass is like this. Simple enough. Also just as tough as kryptonite blocks. It's just a see-through variant. So that you can, have a glass. Very tough glass. And honestly, I think this is probably what people are going to make more is the kryptonite glass over the kryptonite blocks. Because these look okay, but the kryptonite glass, it's you can see through it. It's a strong thing to use. And aside from that, Another thing I've added to the game are guns. Why? I don't know, honestly. I needed a way to like have kryptonite projectiles, and I decided guns were the method. So I added a revolver and a shotgun. And they do require meteorite. They do not use durability. They are not enchantable, and they're fairly strong. So what you're going to need is a little bit of copper. If I could find copper. Boom. Copper, meteorite. You're going to need some dispensers, a piston, levers, and a barrel. Perfect. And so these are simple enough. You put a piston here, a dispenser here, a lever here, meteorite right there, and copper for the handle, and boom, you got a shotgun. In a similar way, you use a barrel, which I thought was funny because, you know, a 6-shooter, right? And it has a barrel, so we'll use an actual barrel, and boom, you get a revolver. And I went a little crazy with these models because, oh my goodness, are they enormous. They kind of look like Nerf guns too, which is really cool. And the way the guns work is they require ammunition, right? But ammunition has a max stack count. So shotgun at 4, bullets, revolver bullets at 6. And on top of that, they need to be in your hotbar. And it'll always take the weaker bullets. So if you have kryptonite bullets versus normal bullets, it'll always choose normal bullets. So if you want to use the guns, they actually have to be in your hotbar, which I thought was an alternative to reloading, where you just, you know, go in your hotbar, place it down here, and boom, the gun will work now. Way to do that. Base revolver bullets, I want to say do 8 damage. I don't remember how I encoded it. I think it's 8. It's 8 apiece, and they do 16 in kryptonite form. Similarly, shotgun shells do 18 damage and 36 in kryptonite form. And let's see here. What would be a good enemy to test this on? I guess a creeper for just perspective. So I missed. That's 2. Which should be 16 damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Yep, 16 damage. Nice. So nice and handy. That's the revolver. And the shotgun, which is by far my favorite, is 18 damage. But it doesn't have much range as opposed to the revolver, right? So I could, like, summon a creeper, and I could back up pretty far, honestly, if I could actually hit the thing. So revolvers have pretty good range. The shotgun, as you can see, doesn't shoot far. The revolver, however, has a really far range, so that's the benefit of it. Less damage, but pretty accurate, whereas the shotgun, not as much. But you can see the spread is a lot better up close, and very strong. Now that you know how to make these, the bullets themselves are not super difficult. One thing is they're always going to require a lot of gunpowder. So to make the normal bullet, you take this, take this, and I think it's just iron. There we go. And it makes 3 bullets. That's your bullet recipe. You take this, you bring it to a stone cutter, and you get the stone cut bullet, which is because you're using stone cutter, so I thought it would be funny to call it stone cut bullet. You take those, and you take your kryptonite shards that I showed you how to make before, and now you need hot sap. And in order to make hot sap, you need a blast furnace for this, and you actually just go and take resin clumps. So you're going to have to go to that new biome now, smelt up some resin clumps, and when you smelt it, you'll get hot sap, which is my alternative to glue. I could have used slime balls, but I just thought it would be fun to add a new item for it. And all you got to do, hot sap, the casing, and the kryptonite shard, and boom, you have a kryptonite bullet. And these things do so much more damage. So let's go ahead and grab another mob to test this on. Let's grab a creeper again. So now does, once again, 16 damage. So 1. Okay, you were already low. Boom. So now 1 bullet does a lot more damage. And so we're getting in territory of very high damage for these weapons. And then, of course, the shotgun, which is just ridiculous with kryptonite. Now, to make a normal shotgun shell, I kind of got a little creative with this one. I'm not going to lie. So you're going to need gold nuggets. You're going to need hot glue or hot sap. You're going to need TNT because, you know, a little more damage. So I feel like TNT actually kind of makes sense. And you're going to need red candles. And I know it's a really weird recipe, but I think in its own weird way that it makes sense. It's the shotgun recipe, is it not? Oh, I'm doing it backwards. There we go. And so that's the shotgun, just like that. And you get 2. Just like how you get 3 for this, you get 2 for each of these. And that's a lot of damage. For a base shotgun, that's 18 damage a shell. That's 36 damage from this, with an okay range. But of course, if you want to make this into kryptonite, unlike the other bullet where you have to make a stone cut bullet, all you got to do is take this, take some hot sap, go grab yourself some kryptonite powder, and boom. Yeah, it's a little expensive, but you're doubling the damage of this. So now you have kryptonite shotgun shells that I can basically take here. And now we're just going to do massive amounts of damage. I mean, it will one-shot most things, which is fantastic. And that's about the gist of what I have for this mod so far. I have a couple more features that I'm going to try to add later, but I thought it would be cool to add some guns, add some, kryptonite-based stuff, of course, Superman abilities and whatnot. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This will be coming out soon-ish. I don't know, when I have time, when I'm not working and whatever else I have happening in life, honestly. But, this will be coming out soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and, yeah, I'll see you all later. Bye.